Hello again, everybody. This is Derek, and I am coming back at you with another Xenonauts-2 video. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to have to restart my campaign yet again, but that's fine because Milestone 3 had just been released. It was released just this Monday. So let me go ahead and... this is going to wind up being a patch notes update. This is a big change. This is Milestone 3. Now, according to this, it will break your existing saved games unless you wanted to just deliberately go back and play Milestone 2, which is available in their legacy branches. But we're not going to do that. We're going to talk about the key changes, and we're going to talk about all the improvements, etc. I learned that there's going to be 5 milestones, and I guess when they hit milestone 5, the game will be ready to go into beta. Okay, but let's go ahead and take a look right here. We got key changes. We got new content. Milestone 3 contains the new cruiser UFO, which will unlock a lot of new technology. And it's not possible to complete the campaign. That will be released in Milestone 5. And there are 2 more UFOs yet to come. Now, the playable time of the campaign has been extended significantly, from 180 days to now 260 days. So instead of like 6 months, you can play it for, what is that? I don't know. Almost a year. Okay, so what will the cruiser UFO? It'll have 2 interior layouts. That's interesting. There's alien fusion weapons, Xenonaut fusion weapons. Sounds like I've got the hiccups. A Gemini interceptor, a Pegasus dropship, and the Ares, which is an improved version of the Mars. Now, because they're using Unity 2022, it should reduce the borderless full screen mode should now be properly supported. So yeah, I'm gonna have to change my settings. Load time should be reduced about 30%. And then maybe another 10 to 20 on Milestone 4. It says, note, this won't be apparent for the next few days as all the extra debugging logging from the developer build cancels out the improved loading screen. So they're going to be like gathering information and debugging. And by doing that, it's going to counteract the reduced loading times for the next few days. Okay, the tactical mission briefing is now also shown on the loading screen rather than the start mission, which gets you into the action faster. Okay, AI improvements. I'm not going to read every little line, but right here it says civilians are now less suicidal. Okay, so maybe that means instead of charging the aliens, they'll stay back. Melee units should make better decisions. AI units will no longer just stand in the fire. AI will now open doors. Cleaner reinforcements will act more aggressively. So they'll be moving towards your dropship or extraction area. Now this is the kind of an interesting one, the bleed, wound, healing, and bleeding aliens. Based on the community feedback, aliens, why can't the aliens bleed as well? So now Xenonauts and aliens can bleed. Now there's a chance now, like 25%, that your bleeding Xenonaut or bleeding alien will just stop bleeding. So it'll basically self-seal itself or stabilize, if you will. But there's also a chance that unconscious units will now also continue to suffer from bleeding, and they might die while they're unconscious. Okay, so when you shoot an alien and you think you're capturing him because he's unconscious, he might be bleeding. So yeah. Okay, usability improvements, pre-mission soldier equip arrangement. We've added a button to pre-mission. I'll have to see what that looks like. Sell junk items button. Not sure what that means. I'm kind of disappointed with this abduction mission change. They're no longer end immediately when the timer expires. Mission will now continue until all alien forces are eliminated. The timer on the abduction tubes has been reduced. This is the line that kind of upsets me right there. It's gone from 8 turns to 6 turns. I've always found it a little hard, and now it's going to be even that much harder. There's now a teleport animation when the tubes disappear. I don't know what that means. Maybe the friendlies that you rescue, you can teleport them. You still gain alien alloys. Okay, good. All right, there's updates to the data raid missions. Victory is triggered off the number of computers you've interacted with, rather than how many data sticks you have brought back to the dropship. That's okay. Basically, I don't know. We've added a new UI element for this mission that shows how many data stick items are being carried by each soldier. Okay. The objective now show how many turns remaining. That's good. Enemy reinforcements timer reduced by 1 turn unless the mission is encountered in month 1. So you got to do it fast. Okay, the extract VIP mission. At the start of the mission, the camera shows the empty dropship you were trying to reach before panning to the starting position of your soldiers. Okay, I'm not familiar with this mission. The VIP is now automatically added to your team at the start of the mission rather than the player having to click on them. The VIP has 50 time units rather than 40. And again, enemy reinforcement timer has been reduced by 1 turn. Okay, so they're trying to make it a little harder. They make some things easier, but then they make some other things harder. They're making it the timer. They're using the timer to give you a little bit of incentive to move, I guess. Now, the soldier rescue mission added ghost soldiers to the dropship when launching towards the soldier rescue mission. Okay, note that all players understood that there was expected to leave 3 free slots in your dropship so that you have space to pick up 3 soldiers that need to be rescued. To make this more obvious, we put placeholder soldiers. Okay, that's good. Updated the logic amount which soldiers are recovered if the player does not leave those 3 free slots in the dropship. The game will now always pick living soldiers over dead soldiers. I'm not sure what all that means, but okay. And then eliminate VIP. The camera will now pan to the VIP and show a message reading VIP sighted when you see the target. Okay, the objectives now show how many turns remaining. Hey, they didn't reduce the timer on that. Okay. And now here are the minor balance changes. Soldier progression. We found that soldiers were becoming too strong too quick. Starting values for attributes are now capped at 65, previously 70. Okay, so they're going to be weaker to start. Okay, starting soldiers are now privates rather than corporals. Okay. Reduce the speed at which soldiers gain combat experience by about 60%. Oh my gosh. The training speed of the training room has been halved. Okay, so it's almost not worth buying. However, the soldiers you can rescue on the soldier rescue missions now have +3 on their base stats, in addition to the +3 all stats when they get to being a sergeant. Okay, strategic layer. Man, this is going to be like super tough. Duration of crash sites reduced to 72 hours from 72 to 32. Reduce the completion time of the initial research project. Okay. Detail the first possible alien retaliation mission. Reduce the number of cleaners in the cleaner base to make it a bit more manageable. Wraith destroyers now contain 1 fewer enemy. Okay, Wraith destroyers. Okay. Increased alloys gained from UFOs. Increased alinium gained by base. Warden armor requires 6 alloys, up from 4. They're making that harder. Accelerated weapons now require more alloys to build, with the most expensive weapons requiring 6, up from 4, so that's hard. Laser weapons now require more alloys and alinium. Swap the alloys and alinium cost of advanced building upgrades. They now usually require twice as many alinium. Okay, construction time of radar is reduced from 20 to 15. Training center building increased in cost. That's what, so if it's got reduced, if it has, this is my thoughts, guys. If it has reduced by 50%, shouldn't the cost be reduced by 50%? Or at least left the same? Because with that being an increase, right, of about 75%, it's technically cost per training is reduced by 275% approximately. Doubled the duration of corpse analysis. That's just making that a lot harder. Okay. Tactical combat balancing. It's no longer able to see doors opening and closing in fog of war. Okay, I'm okay with that. Sections now trigger the psychic triangulation accuracy bonus from being near scions, not by being near other sectons. However, if the scion is killed and no other scion is nearby, the secton will immediately panic. That's an interesting take. Okay. Using a healing item will no longer trigger enemy fire. Okay, that's cool. Medkit weight increased. Dude, they were already super heavy. Reaper zombies now have 70 hit points, up from 40. Mentar can no longer crouch or be suppressed. Slight accuracy reduction in the Mars cannon. Alien melee weapons can no longer gib units through overdamage. Okay. Gibbing is when it just like totally evaporates them. Okay. Enabled reaction fire on the various melee weapons. Okay. air combat balancing. Okay, here we go. Let's get into some of this other stuff. Alien missiles in the air combat now have a 0.35 damage against units that can do evasive roll. This means alien fighters and alien interceptors are now a bit weaker when auto-resolving. Okay, so they're easier to shoot down. Reduced construction cost of missiles. Reduced upkeep for Angel. Okay. Reduced upkeep on the Phantom. Bomber UFO missions updated. Destroyer UFO increased to 200 hit points. Fighter turn rate increased. Fighter cannon armor destruction increased. Abductor UFO increases and abductor cannon range increased. Reload time reduced. Projectile speed slowed down. Okay. Alien interceptor missiles armor destruction increased. Okay, so this is just, I don't know, it's making it unplayable, I think. We're going to play it. We're going to test it. But some of these changes, okay, I don't know how to say this. They seem scary. Okay, added a number of new maps. Added new 3D models. Okay. Added new 2D inventory tile art. Added fusion weapons to the game for any Kickstarter backers. Okay, added proper melee animations. Units now play an injury sound or injury animation when struck with a stun weapon. Soldiers should now hide their carried weapon when climbing a ladder. Okay, it's now possible to use combined uppercase and lowercase letters. Moved a check that was preventing a player launching an empty dropship from the launch aircraft screen to the pre-mission soldier equipped instead. Okay, stopped a chance. Objects are no longer highlighted. Added a ballistic sort order system. Units that can crush terrain now do not crush an object double door when they pass through it, mostly noticeable inside UFOs and alien base missions. Mars now shows a custom cannot interact cursor when hovering over a mission objective. Double checking an enemy slot in the soldier equip screen will bring up the soldier assignment menu. Okay, checking a weapon. We'll select it. Set the large rock means in the polar and desert maps to be significantly tougher. Okay, updated the soldier equip screen. There's now a small animation when soldier pawns switch places in the dropship or the aircraft screen, which makes it easier to understand what's happening. Added tooltip description. Improved performance on the farm cabbage fields. Added tubes in various stealth unit shaders. Security guards in the dockyards now have little hats, so they don't look quite as much like the cleaners. Okay. And some bug fixes. There's a long list of bug fixes. Fixed a crash, fixed a bug when unassigning soldiers, sometimes not being removed from the dropship, when the autofill dropship button, weapon, camera getting stuck in a weird angle, sentry guns, soldier paper doll could get blurred, soldier portrait could disappear, when grenades could get stuck, displayed 0% chance. Units could stand in midair. when you could place 2 soldiers in the same designated tile, when unconscious units could not be could not be revived with a medkit. When the shoot move, okay, TU's values could end up with a decimal point. Crouching during pre-battle deployment phase on certain missions costs TUs and did not refund if you stood up. Crouch keyboard shortcut didn't work. Most of these all worked for me. The shield didn't disappear after getting destroyed. Bleeding wounds counter. Grenade flare. Fixed a number of bugs with the ultimate power achievement. Bring all colonels to a mission. Okay. That's cool. I don't know anything about that. Fixed a minor issue with the fire paths. Fixed a typo in the electroshock pistol. And removed some incorrect tooltips. All right, so you saw all the updates for Milestone 3. Now that you've seen it, and if you play Xenonauts, I'd like to hear your feedback about if you think these are improvements, or if these are steps backwards, or if these are deliberate attempts to make it unplayable or extremely hard, or if, just let me know what you think. If you've got some insight or ideas about, now don't give me any spoilers. That's not what I'm asking for. I'm asking for your interpretation of the patch notes that I just read for you. And if if you've got ideas like this would make it harder, this would make it easier if this happened, or if that happened, that's fine. But don't say I played this and this is what happened. That's that's what I don't want. I don't want anecdotal, spoiler-esque information. I want, your tactical assessment of what these changes might do to the game. All right. Well, thanks for listening to me and hearing out all the new changes. And I will catch you in my next campaign, which is going to be coming up in a few minutes. All right.